Names, places, or names, mentions are used for storytelling or used for fictional or speculative. The opinions expressed by guests are their opinions and do not reflect those of Cosmic Crumbs, do not reflect those. No guarantees are made regarding the accuracy of any stories, and we are not responsible for how this content is interpreted or how this content show contains vulgar language. This show contains vulgar language, viewer discretion is advised. Viewer discretion is advised.
What's up, people, and welcome to another episode of Cosmic Crumbs podcast. Sorry I'm a little late tonight. Better late than never. But we are going to get into some crazy stuff. I've got plenty of food recipes. I've got, Lord, I think today we're going to do some Am I the Asshole stuff. Just some fun stuff that maybe we haven't got to get into before. But let me turn the comments on so we can see if anybody joins. And we will get started. For those of you, if it's your first time joining, we have a link tree where you can share your stories, share your recipes, and get on the spam mailing list. Which is awesome because even if you miss the show, you're not able to join for one reason or another, you can get on the spam mail list and actually get all the recipes and the stories that we share during the episode, which is cool. But on that note, today we are going to start out with something that I'm very excited about, which is cornbread cookies. I had never heard of cornbread cookies, but apparently it's a thing. Actually, before cornbread cookies, Hadley from last week's episode followed up and shared. You can tell that these are loved pages from a recipe book, but she shared some recipes from last week's conversation for pound cake. We also have Mexican cornbread. And well, there was a third one, I believe. Well, maybe it was just the two, but regardless, going to be sending those out to everybody too, just as a follow up from last week's episode from Hadley to you. And yeah, another benefit of being on. Oh, well, that's not good. That's not good at all, Landa. Do I have audio? Will you do me a favor, Landa? If you're on YouTube, go to Facebook and see. For all intents and purposes, I have audio on here, but I just want to make sure if that's it. If you could just check one more place for me. Let me see. Maybe I can check too while we're here. Maybe it's a YouTube thing, but let's see. Just to check. Let's see. Check. Just to check. Okay, I've got audio. We've got audio, Landa. It's just you. Okay. So back to the recipes. Hadley, last week we talked to an author. If you weren't here, she does a little bit of everything into the woo. And we talked to her about some of the foods she grew up with. And she sent me pictures from her family cookbook. So if you're not already on the mailing list, go to the link tree. It's in the bio. It's everywhere. Hit the link tree, get on the mailing list, and you will get the recipes plus any of the videos, any of the stories that I cover. It's all going to be coming out later tonight. But on that note, The first recipe that we're going to cover today is a video, um, and it's for cornbread cookies. And I thought this was super interesting, just as a theory, or in theory, it sounded super interesting. But let's see what goes into it.
Please explain to me why, when it hits 70 degrees, the first thing I'm doing is making cornbread cookies. This is the second year in a row I've made them when it's this warm outside. I guess it's just initiation into summer at this point. And I guess it could also be that these might be.
I had never heard of cookies with cornbread mix. I'm trying to think of how that would taste. Yeah, I don't know, Landa. I actually got on the phone just to make sure I could hear myself, but we do have audio, so I don't know what was going on. But what I was saying is, Hadley sent recipes from last week. I'm going to get it out to everybody that's on the mailing list, and we're watching the video. This video is for cornbread cookies, and I'll start it back over. I don't know how I feel about cornbread mix in cookies, though.
Please explain to me why, when it hits 70 degrees,
They
the
look
first
good.
thing I'm doing is making cornbread cookies. This is the second year in a row I've made them when it's this warm outside. I guess it's just initiation into summer at this point. And I guess it could also be that these might be the best summer cookie ever. They're sweet, they're savory, and the honey butter is amazing.
I mean, that's a crazy texture,
It
though.
could also be that these might be the best
Look at that. It's scooping out almost like ice cream.
summer cookie ever. They're sweet, they're savory, and the honey butter is amazing. And when you put them out, don't be surprised if they all disappear fast. Can someone please explain to me?
I mean, I would give it a run. And she has a website that you can go to. It does kind of look like peanut butter cookies. That's a good point. I'm just imagining a cornbread cookie with honey butter. I like butter on cornbread. So, I think these should be worth giving a run. So yeah, that'll be in this week's spam mail, that recipe for everybody. And the next one we got is another dessert. This is really one for my buddy Foreman. He loves chocolate. Maybe I'll send this to him. But I saw this. I'd never heard of chocolate cobbler. Have you ever heard of chocolate cobbler? I didn't even know this was a thing, but apparently it's been around forever.
Had chocolate cobbler. It dates back to the 1930s, and it is the easiest, most rich, decadent dessert you can ever make. And it's made out of pantry staples. You're going to start by melting 2 sticks of butter in a preheating oven, and you're going to mix self-rising flour, sugar, and cocoa powder. And then to that, you're going to add your vanilla and milk. Whisk that in to just combine, don't overmix. Then you're going to move to the topping, which is going to give that really nice crust. And the topping is just sugar, brown sugar, and cocoa powder. Whisk that until everything is nice and combined. Once the oven is preheated and the butter is melted, you're going to pour the batter on top of the batter.
So it's like, this is like a drop biscuit dessert, which is crazy. Like a butter biscuit dessert. Look how much butter's in the bottom of that pan. This can't be bad because you're cooking a dessert in butter. It's basically boiling in the butter.
Stir. Just pour it on top. Once you've got everything poured on top, start sprinkling the topping all over. It's going to seem like a lot. Just keep sprinkling it all over. Once you're done with that, you're going to pour it boiling water all over it. Again, do not stir. It's going to be very tempting to stir, but don't. Put in the oven for 40 to 45 minutes, and it comes out this beautiful cobbler.
That's crazy.
Bye.
That's crazy.
Have you ever had chocolate cobbler? It dates back to the 1930s.
Just look at that. That ain't just chocolate. That is all of that residual butter mixed into the chocolate, which is absolutely nuts. This is absolutely nuts. I've never seen anything like this. I'm actually going to text him Did- uh, okay, text sent. It does look like a lava cake, but I don't think the lava in a lava cake is made out of butter. Maybe it is. Maybe it's a butter base. But yeah, that one's nuts. That one's nuts. Okay, so we're going from super unhealthy to something super healthy. I didn't even know what a shawarma was until I saw this video. Maybe that's because I'm uncultured. But this is a potential high protein meal. Got the full recipe in the description of this one. So that you can make this when I send the video, but check this out.
Easy lunch idea. These high-protein, crispy chicken shawarmas pack over 50 grams of protein. They're bursting with flavor and so easy to make. Slice.
I think shawarmas are like Indian burritos. I might be wrong about that, but they look huge. So that's the first thing is like, if you've got 50 G's of protein in a burrito, that's doing a lot, but he's using chicken thighs. So it probably tastes pretty good.
Your chicken thighs into strips, then add yogurt, lemon juice, garlic, shawarma seasoning, and tomato paste. Then mix well to coat and marinate till you get hungry. Meanwhile,
you could sub sriracha for the tomato paste if you're not a tomato person. Avengers what? Avengers, is that where shawarma comes from? I don't know what you're saying, Landa.
I'll make a simple garlic sauce with all of these ingredients, mix well and set aside. Now get a baking tray, give it a spray, add your marinated chicken and bake in the oven with these settings, then broil on high afterwards for that golden char. For the crispy shawarma coating, we're going to mix oil, tomato paste, salt and chili flakes. Mix well to combine.
Again, I'm not a big fan of tomatoes. I feel like if you are a fan of tomatoes though, and you like the tomato paste, those tubes that dude just used are going to be better than a canned tomato paste. What's up, Crystal? Man, you missed a good one. You missed a really crazy dessert a minute ago. It was basically, but it'll be in the email. It was basically, they called it chocolate cobbler, and it was kind of like, Landa called it like a chocolate lava cake, but they put all of this chocolate batter in a butter bath like you would a drop biscuit, and it cooked in the butter, and the butter by the end of it was just like chocolate lava. It looked absolutely nuts. But now this is kind of a healthier recipe. I don't know what a shawarma is. Maybe I should look that up. Where does shawarma come from? Come on now, shawarma come from? Okay, it's a Middle Eastern, it's traced back to Turkey and the Lebanon. So Lebanon, Syria, it later inspired dishes like the gyro in Greece, which is, I guess, the one of the reasons for the yogurt based. I thought it was India too, but apparently it's more like Turkey. But
if you're looking for a delicious and easy lunch idea, these high-protein, crispy chicken shawarmas pack over 50 grams of protein. They're bursting with flavor and so easy to make. Slice your chicken thighs into strips, then add yogurt, lemon juice, garlic, shawarma seasoning, and tomato paste.
Also don't know what goes into shawarma seasoning, but if you click more, the full recipe.
Then mix well to coat and marinate till you get hungry. Meanwhile, make a simple garlic sauce with all of these ingredients, mix well and set aside. Now get a baking tray, give it a spray, add your marinated chicken, and bake in the oven with these settings, then broil on high afterwards for that golden char. For the crispy shawarma coating, we're going to mix oil, tomato paste, salt, and chili flakes. Mix well to combine, then separate a pita bread into two, add a healthy amount of garlic sauce.
So it is pita bread and not a burrito, but it does kind of still look like a burrito.
Followed by your shawarma chicken and sliced pickles. Roll it up tightly like so, then add it to a pan on medium heat with that shawarma coating, baste the outside, and roll them around till golden and crispy on all sides. Serve them up while hot and crispy, and you're ready to enjoy.
I mean, that looks good. I'm not going to lie. I would give that a run, just no tomatoes. But that'll be in the email. Also, Crystal, last week I talked to Hadley and interviewed her, and we got some recipes from her family's cookbook. Oh, thought I needed to sneeze. I'm going to be sending those out in the weekly email as well this week. So you get some secret family recipes from Hadley's family. Yeah, Landa, I really haven't eaten pita that much. I don't know that I have a preference. I like tortillas though. Let's see what else we got. Ooh, this is not a healthy one, but it is an interesting one. Sloppy Joe hot pockets, but maybe not in the way you think. This is also like very ASMR, this video. Those look crazy. Almost like a puff pastry, I guess is what that is. Yeah. Yeah, again, no tomatoes for me, but I'm definitely in as well on that one. And then this is supposed to be like an In-N-Out animal style chopped cheese, I think. Jalapenos for sure, and probably jalapenos on this one too.
Important rules I follow when cooking is that if a recipe has 3 versions of one ingredient, it's a guaranteed banger. This In-N-Out chopped cheese has American cheese baked into the meat and Colby Jack cheese sticks fitted inside the actual sandwich.
That's crazy.
As always, we're not done yet. Thick cut onions get grilled on the skillet, and after a couple minutes, they get placed aside and the third iteration of cheese gets introduced. Yes, I fried cheese and placed a fried onion on top. Mayonnaise, ketchup, onion powder, relish, vinegar, and spicy honey get mixed in a bowl to make my version of In-N-Out spread. And like Bruce Lee always says, be water, my friend. Be water to melt the cheese. In this case, introduce a little water to help the inside cheese melt. And there you have it, guys. My version of an In-N-Out chopped cheese.
I'm giving that a run.
What other versions of
I'm giving that a run too. The sauce looks good. And yeah, I'm down for triple cheese anything, anytime. The onions are a good touch. Always like a good cooked onion. But I'm gonna have to change that because I think I labeled this one a burger in the email, and it's actually not a burger. But let's see what else we got. Another dessert. This one I don't know about. I'm gonna need your all's feedback on this one. It is supposed to be a cinnamon cake, a cinnamon roll cake, but it's got nanners in it. And I don't know if I'm down with the bananas. I just feel like I don't know that bananas and cinnamon go together. It's an interesting thought, but the cake does look good.
People who try this banana cinnamon roll cake say it's one of the best cakes they've ever had. This is the perfect combination, and when you have the cinnamon dripping through the layers of a soft banana cake, it's hard to picture eating any other kind. The banana cake on its own, I could eat it all day. It is so light and fresh, and it bounces back after each bite. And the cinnamon filling, it speaks for itself. As always, the recipe is waiting for you to cap.
I guess, like if you think of a banana nut bread, It does look like meat. I think the only way this works is if it's like a banana nut bread with cinnamon, like cinnamon roll icing or something.
The people who try this banana
It does look like meat, but that could be a good thing. Just for the texture, because all this stuff's really thick. I think it'd be almost like eating an ice cream. And this one, I saved the craziest one for last because I would try these, but well, I didn't mean to do that. I would try these, but I'm not making them. They look great. I'm not making them. But check this
It's
out.
featured in the New York Times last year, and even though egg prices are down, these peanut butter eggs are way more fun to make and taste so much better than dyed eggs. Based on everyone's favorite Reese's peanut butter eggs, our peanut butter filling is lower in sugar and made with just a few simple ingredients. We roll it into an egg shape, then dip it into white chocolate colored naturally with spirulina and matcha. To make them look like realistic robin's eggs, we mix together cocoa powder and water to sprinkle over the top for the perfect speckles. Give these a try for Easter. This recipe got us featured in the New York Times last year, and even
I ain't gonna lie, those look amazing. Like when she broke it open and you could see it. I'm trying that, but I'm not making it. It'd be worth experimenting with if you had enough hands in the kitchen. But yeah, that's the recipes for the week. I try to bring a spread of like sweet and savory. And as always, if you come across like your family's cookbook and you want to submit some stuff, you can do so on the link tree. Share your stories, share your recipes, get on the mailing list. And just in case if you have to miss an episode, I'll send you all the recipes and stuff. So you ain't even got to do nothing other than throw your email in. And before I forget, if you've made it this far and you don't already follow, go ahead and give me a follow. What else? I think that I'm going to start a poll every week. I don't know how long you can run polls on Twitter, but maybe I'm still kind of thinking through this idea. But there's so many crazy Reddit threads that we could read through the second half of the show when we don't have guests on. And sometimes I don't always know what I want to do. So maybe I'll start like a poll, and maybe every week I'll link the poll at the top of the link tree and let you all vote on what we talk about that week, or like which crazy stories we read that week. You don't have to, I don't think you have to, Landa. And maybe I can make the poll in the same place as where these links exist, to where it just brings you to a separate form to vote on it. So maybe let me check into that, and if I can get it going relatively easy, I'll let everybody vote on what we talk about from week to week. Because again, I've got so much straight crazy stuff, and Landa, you already know because you're on all of our stuff. We've got enough crazy stuff to go years and years and years. So I can never make up my mind, which is why for the rest of the show we're going to be talking about Am I the Asshole? So we're going to read some stories, and you can check out this Reddit thread yourself at r Am I the Asshole? But we're just going to start at the top, and I'll read it, and then we'll decide if we think these people are the Ada. Me too, Landa. That's why I picked it. And that's also why, like, sometimes I have these ideas and I've got like 6 things. On my personal computer, I've probably got like 12 Reddit threads that I have specifically for this show. So I'd like to throw up like 4 ideas a week, and you guys can pick what we talk about. And if nobody votes, then I'll just pick one of the four. I'll get a DOS or something, and we'll do it that way. But let's see what this first one's got. Okay. So this one is, am I the asshole for calling out my wife after our dream Japan trip turned into a personal shopping service for her family? So Japan has been my dream destination as far as I, 36 male, can remember. I grew up on Dragon Ball Z and then over time picked up interest in a lot of anime as well. And I always saw Japan as this country living in 2040 while we're all lagging behind. I'm currently on a trip with my spouse, 35 female, and her friends, 3 of them. Her closest friend adores her, obviously, and doesn't question how the itinerary has been panning out. The other 2 people are also nice enough not to call anything out from what I've been seeing. So basically, my brother-in-law and sister-in-law, very well-to-do, wanted a bunch of stuff from Japan. Whether my wife offered or imposed, I don't know. My wife's love language with her family is acts of servitude for sure, so going out of the way to get stuff for them usually flies. This time, though, we've gone on a trip with a bunch of other friends, and I just spent the entire day getting a turn card to visit this Onitsuka store for my Ginza, I don't know what that is, for my brother-in-law, and then planning the rest of the day for all of us around this place so that we can pick up the shoe. It's not such a hard custom job to do. They sew it in 4 letters on each shoe. Being from India, it seems like something any basic tailor can do for us. We left around 10 in the morning, and now it's 9 hours later, and I'm sitting in the shoe store waiting for the thing. With my sister-in-law, she wanted a bag from a luxury brand in Japan. And Japan being great for secondhand high quality stuff, we visited a number of stores from the day we landed to finally picking up the one with the grade that fit what she was looking for. This meant going to different stores, calling her, showcasing the stuff to her on video call, and then getting a yay or nay. Obviously, they're well-to-do, so they'll pay us back for the items that we sourced. We had to spend the entire day around this area that I finally asked the others to go back to the hotel and head to an area that anime and gaming. By the time we got free, just me and her, the area that I wanted to go to had closed. At this point, I told the others who had reached the hotel to come meet us at a tower. Now, after the picking up of the shoe, I told her that I'm going to tell her family that this doesn't fly and that I don't give a shit what they think when I say it, and I'm 100% will tell them then. She flipped it on me that how dare can I call her family shite and that this is her family. She deeply cares about them, and I have no right to say that to them. Am I the asshole, or should I just confront them? Edits. Yes, the itinerary was established, but it kept changing. 2 guys and 3 girls. Only 2 girls are in for the shopping at full steam. One of them is window shopping only. 3 were Indian, and my wife isn't super independent, and culturally, it'll get a lot of backlash from the family if I left her to go by herself. Second time in Tokyo, he was broke the first time he went, and I can understand that as someone who grew up poor. Like, you know, you want to go to a place you've never been before, or a place that you have been before, and maybe you didn't have money the last time. And he's going to add more edits along the way, but this was just like 11 hours ago that he posted this. This is Big Juice 5290. And I'm going to say not the asshole for me personally, because if I'm going to Japan and I have the means to do that, and I'm wanting to do certain things while I'm in Japan, like he mentioned Dragon Ball Z, and obviously that's where the show was created. I'm going to say I'm not shopping for somebody, for like family members, the whole time I'm on vacation, regardless. I would be like, okay, you're going to have to come with us and do your own thing. And we'll come with you and look around or whatever, but then we're going to do our own thing afterwards. After just a little bit, this spending 9 hours waiting on shoes to get done for somebody else on vacation, overseas, ain't happening. Yeah, that was crazy. Okay. This one's kind of crazy. Yeah, I wouldn't either. I wouldn't expect anybody to do that for me. So this one is peed standing up in traffic jam. Throwaway. I'm 26, boyfriend is 25 male. We got stuck in an insane traffic jam. Boyfriend was driving. We were at a standstill. Found out later they had closed the highway. I had to pee really bad, like bad, bad, bad. I saw that a couple of guys had run into the side of the road, and I decided to do the same. It was super open with a few bushes by the side of the road, really not much cover. I have a stand to pee device in my car, but when I grabbed it, my boyfriend got all weird. He said people would see me pee standing up and think I was really a man. I said no one would think that. Plenty of women have pee funnels, and also I don't care. I don't have any beef with that. He said that I should squat and put his mind at ease. I said I didn't want my butt and you know what out on the highway in front of everyone or get pee on my shoes, and I just wanted to be quick and clean. He said he didn't want people to look at the girl he was dating and think that she was really a man. I don't think I would think that. I don't know. And that I should, because a lot of women do have those. I've seen those devices before, as like an emergency thing, like a travel thing. I finally couldn't hold it anymore, and I really didn't want to show the world my butt, so I ran to the side of the road, slipped the device into my jeans, and peed standing up with my back to traffic. No one could see anything. When I got back to the car, my boyfriend wouldn't talk to me, and he said I disrespected his feelings, but it was 100% an emergency. And apparently he's an ex-boyfriend now, because there were other red flags other than this. Ditched the man, kept the pee funnel. Gonna laugh at him every time I pee standing up. I don't even know if there's a question. Like if it's an emergency, pee ever how you got to. That's my 2 cents. Pee ever how you got to. Okay, this looks like maybe a good one. Yeah, I completely agree, Landa. I think I don't know. That's just crazy. This one's a pretty short one. Am I for telling my roommate's parents the truth about why he got kicked out? So I shared an apartment with a roommate for about a year. At first, things were fine, but over time, he stopped paying his share of the rent and utilities. I kept covering for him because he always had an excuse about a lost job, delayed payments, with family issues, but it started putting me in a rough financial spot. Eventually, the landlord got involved and gave us a warning. I told my roommate multiple times that he needed to sort things out, but nothing ever changed. After a while, the landlord decided to evict him and not me, since I had proof I was paying my part. When his parents came to help him move out, they asked me what happened. My roommate tried to say it was just landlord issues, but I told them the truth, that he hadn't been paying rent for months and that I had been covering for them. He got really angry afterwards and said that I embarrassed him and made him look bad in front of his family. Now he's telling people I betrayed him and should have kept quiet. Some of our mutual friends think I should have stayed out of it since it was his personal situations, while others think that I did the right thing. I feel conflicted because I didn't want to cause drama, but I also didn't want to lie for him anymore. I don't know. Let's see. Comments are saying, not the asshole. He probably mad because his parents were likely giving him money to cover bills now they know he lies to them. Yeah. I mean, he did answer honestly. I don't know how I feel about that one. I could go either way. It depends on how mad you are, I guess. Like, if it's been months and months and months and the person's just being lazy, then I would say not a bad person for doing that. But, if it's a tattletale situation, then maybe on that one. Oh, exactly. That's what I'm getting at, Linda. I think there's oh no. This one got took off. That one got took off by the moderator. Let's see. Well, I think okay. Ooh, there's a brand new one. 4 minutes ago. My bae called me an asshole for calling him out on his lie. Okay, this is a shorty. What is SO? I don't know what SO means in relationship slang. Maybe I should, but I don't. So 36 mil made up a story of one of our roommates that I know isn't true. He was trying to be convincing of a certain point, significant other. Thank you. So he brought up a story that he heavily fabricated in order to prove his point. I heard him shamelessly lying about this situation as if it actually happened. I got upset, so I asked him via text if he was a mythomaniac or sociopath, and I told him he had a serious problem for being so okay with lying all the time. Not the first time he's done it, apparently. Like, it's fine if you exaggerate. That's normal. But when you pass straight up fiction as fact, that's not normal unless it is, and I'm crazy. He called me an asshole and told me not to talk to him just because I called him out. That seems like a red flag to me. Yeah, that seems like a red flag to me. I think she's in the right. I would be concerned if I was with somebody that was just habitually lying about stuff like that. Really? That's crazy. Let's see. Okay. Am I the asshole for thinking my daughter will look back and wonder why we treated her differently? Our son Ken was born on St. Patrick's Day. When I was near my due date with our daughter too, Amy, I hoped it'd be 11/11, so both of my kids had a lucky holiday. That might be a red flag. If you're hoping your kids are born on certain days because of lucky and holiday and this and that, that's lunatic behavior, in my opinion. Second child thing is 100% a thing. I haven't felt as controlling of things for her as I did when Ken was born, with making everything just right. There was a lot of anxiety when he was born because he was a COVID baby. Ken has had a party every year since his first birthday with all of our friends and family. Amy had a small party in our home with some close friends and family, but much smaller due to in size. We wanted to have a big party and planned to maybe hold one later for her, but weren't able to. She did get a big party at her second birthday, but I still feel guilty for the first one. 2 years ago, I was babysitting my niece, who's 5, and she was saying she needed to make a leprechaun trap for school. We helped her build one ourselves. This is the third year a leprechaun has been to our home, causing mischief for a week before the 17th. And here's where the real issue begins. I thought the leprechaun was a new thing that parents were doing for their kids, like Elf on the Shelf. In no way did I think it was strictly going to be a leprechaun visiting Ken because of his birthday. That is what it has turned into. Ken gets so excited about Rascal each year, third year doing it, but apparently neither my brother nor sister did it this year for their kids because leprechauns are only coming for kids born on St. Patrick's Day. I don't know how the heck that happened, but I at least thought the leprechaun was here visiting Amy as well. My mom made a comment when I picked both of the kids up last night that she was told differently. I didn't get to talk to my husband last night about it, but we woke up early to decorate this morning. This is the third year that Ken has woken up to balloons, streamers everywhere for his birthday. And I asked if we were leaving some coins behind for Amy. He said no, since the leprechaun is only here for Ken. I asked if that meant we were going to find something special to do for Amy's birthday then. He said no. He said that by the time she's old enough to realize there was a leprechaun for Ken's birthday, we will have stopped because Ken will be old enough to know they aren't real. I don't think that's true. We started the leprechaun when Ken turned 3, only 8 months older than Amy is now. Even if we do it 2 more times, it's enough for her to know. Also, when she's an adult, I don't want her to look back and wonder why we basically did a week-long celebration of her brother's birthday where he'd wake up the streamers and balloons everywhere and she didn't. Coupled with the first birthday and second child syndrome, is it wrong to worry about her feelings differently? My husband thinks that I'm ridiculous for wanting to figure something out for her birthday. We fought about it, and he thinks I'm being crazy for trying to make things more difficult. Edit. To everyone that genuinely responded, thank you. After sitting for a bit, I proceeded to do more mischievous things besides the balloons and streamers. I made a note from the leprechaun stating that he loved the balloons and streamers that mom and dad put up for Ken's birthday, that he hoped both kids had a wonderful St. Patrick's Day. He enjoyed visiting them both, and he left both kids some money. I waited until the kids got up, let my son know me and his father did the birthday streamers and balloons, and read in the note. But he's well aware that the leprechaun was there for both him and Amy. I don't think that he himself ever realized or thought the leprechaun was only there for him, as that was never my intention. Also made it a big deal with Amy, showing her what the leprechaun left her. I then told my husband that we are going to be decorating the house every year for both kids, and they will know it is us and not some magical creature. I feel for every one of you that were made to feel less than the other sibling or cousin. I will make sure I do my absolute best to make sure either kid that they both feel equal, I guess. Yeah, I was an only child, so I really can't weigh in a lot on this, but from the outside looking in, I think that it would be damaging if you had a sibling and they're like going all out for their birthday and leprechauns showing up and streamers and smoke bombs and everything else, and then nobody's doing nothing much for your birthday. I don't think that's second sibling syndrome. I think that's just human nature, to be treated equally as a sibling. So I think she made the right decision by doing it equally for both of them. Yeah, Landa, you're an expert on this situation. So I agree. I think that I would treat them both equally and either do, it don't got to be a leprechaun. Find something if the kids watching cartoons at 2 or 3 years old, if they're watching Bluey or whatever the kids watch these days, get somebody to come and dress up as Bluey for her birthday. It don't got to be a leprechaun. But that's just me. And I think on that note, I'm going to cut it this week. It's been kind of crazy for me. I've been running around like crazy, dealing with a lot of stuff in our personal lives. And you all, this will be the only show you all will see me on, just because I'm going to be gone on the weekends for a while. But I am going to try to get a guest for the other shows here in about 2 weeks, maybe 2 weeks from this Saturday. There's a lady who runs a library at a university, and she wrote a book on haunted libraries. And I'm going to try to get her on one of the big shows to come on and tell us about all these haunted libraries, including hers that she claims is haunted. So we get some big things on the horizon. I'm just going to be MIA on the weekends for a while. I'm sure Cecil will make up some stories about where I'm at, but you can tune into them at Where in the Folk everywhere tomorrow at probably 8 p.m. Eastern, unless the promo says differently tomorrow. Okay, Landa. Yeah, it may not start until 8 because I think Morgana's also going to be out, so it may be Steven and Cecil tomorrow. But I'll confirm that, and I do all the promo stuff, so I'll get the promo over to Morgana so she can post it on Facebook, and you'll know. But on that note, I'll be back next week. I'll see if I can figure out a poll. If I can, I'll wait and send the weekly spam email in, and I'll include the poll with the email so that everybody can access it. But you can go to the link tree wherever you're watching, and you can share your stories, share recipes with me. More importantly, get on the mailing list so I can send you recipes and the videos and the stories that we read. And yeah, I'll see if I can get a poll up and you guys can vote on what we read every week. But thanks for tuning in. I like doing the show. And until next time, I'll talk to you all later. Thanks, everybody.